So I'm a person with lived experience of mental illness. I've been given many diagnoses over many psychiatric admissions: schizophrenia, anorexia, bulimia, complex PTSD, grief disorder. And these are all descriptions given to me at my worst. For 20 years my life was governed by the public mental health system. This is a well-meaning practice trying to help me manage all those diagnoses. And I usually face those challenges alone because I don't have a supportive surround sound family system like you might see on SBS's Insight. I did my recovery apprenticeship at the old Psychiatric Disability Rehabilitation and Support Services, or PDRSSs. You know the sort: drop-ins, barbecues, art and craft groups, outings in a small white van. These groups work great at getting people together, but they also trapped us in their structure. Here's a picture of me at the PDRSS back in 1990 something or other. That's me closest to the van, and I'm not actually going anywhere. That's just how I was with people. And so you could actually say this is a 5-minute video of that day. So my favourite group at rehab, actually the only group, was always the music group. Every week 4 or 5 of us mentally unwell people would gather around the Book of the Beatles and a staff member who could play guitar. And we'd sing, "It's been a hard day's night," again and again and again for the next 10 years. My only real progress in that time was going from a psych ward rookie to a psych ward patient with no future except the one that she was sat in. I still couldn't look at people. I still couldn't hold a conversation of more than 3 words. I still saw less of me, Heidi, and more of Heidi Everett, folded up mental patient. But as a person with a fairly good IQ, it frustrated the crap out of me. How could I be so independent and so dependent at the same time? But there was new life evolving. It was in this time that I found guitar. I taught myself how to play classical guitar. I taught myself how to speak up through singing out. I surprised myself. I actually had a voice in there. It felt so good to be able to write what I couldn't say and sing what I couldn't speak. The music held all the emotion, all the secrets and all the hopes I had, and it gave me my first sense of real self-esteem. I was an artist. People liked me and I tolerated people. Back before I got the diagnosis of schizophrenia, I had a year of living safely. I was studying to be a park ranger. I'm not actually lost there, I am actually looking at a tree. I always loved teaching people about the bush and sharing information. Unfortunately, because I'd always been limited on the social learning, I never learnt how to pay bills or live with other people. So it didn't take long for my young mind to pop, and I ended up in the psych ward. But my natural skills that led me to being a ranger never left me. They just became dormant. When I finished my long apprenticeship in mental illness, I was able to reconnect with those skills. I was offered a job facilitating the workshop, the songwriting workshop that I'd been part of, and I loved it. I loved teaching people, and I wasn't scared of going there with people in story because I'd been there myself. And I found my true niche in life. I'm very autonomous though, so it wasn't long before I took organising projects into my own hands. In 2008, I took on my first major public event called the Mimosa Performing Arts Festival back in Frankston.